Yo guys, so this video I'm going to show you how to change the blades on the TW150, Timberwolf TW150. Get the user manual to hand, just in case you need to refer to it. And re-grease the roller box and grease the nipples and things like that around the machine. And yeah, let's get it done. First thing I want to do is crack this nut open. Like so, washer on. It's always important whenever you're taking anything apart, lay it out as it comes off. You remember the layout. Lift this box up. That's the roller cover box. Next, you want to take off the side plate cover. Crack that bolt and that bolt. We're going up from a 17mm to a 19mm for these ones. Careful not to lose the washers behind. And that just slides off, or pulls off in this case. Then move the wheel, flywheel, around so you can see the blades. There you go, one sticky blade from the conifer yesterday. So they look alright, but you're changing a few dents in there, and these ones are near the end of their life, so let's show you that. So as you can see, it's got a few chips in, and this one's right on the edge of its life. That's the wear line just below that. So these are going to get binned, they're not going to go off for sharpening, they're just going to get binned now. So let's crack these off. Use a little screwdriver, tuning screwdriver, clear out all this crap in here first, as you won't get a purchase on this Torx key, and you just round it off or round your tool off. So clean this out first, back it up. Use your tuning screwdriver, get it in there, get all that gunk out. You see all that gunk coming out? Just wiggle it around, get it all out of all of them. I'll be back in a bit, that'll take a while. What we want to do is to get to this last one here when changing the blades. This is in the way. So on the 150 they're quite easy. You should be able to just grab the spring, lift them off. And the same on the other side. And then we're going to lift this up. So I normally stand on the chassis there, and the same on the other side. Lift it and then get somebody to wedge a piece of wood through from the top through, and that'll hold the box up. This will be out of the way then. Well, it's probably a too bad job. Take the sprigs off and then lift this up, and then get somebody to jab a bit of wood in there, across that way or across that way. Make sure it's up. That'll give you access to these bolts better to clean them out. So in order to do these, it's left loosey, righty tighty. So you'll find that you can't do it if they're too tight. They won't come undone. So the flywheel will just move. So what you want to do is get a small piece of wood, and you see that in there, and chog the flywheel. Once the flywheel is chogged, undo these. I'll be back in a minute, show you once I've got it off. We've taken that blade off. I just want to show you on the workshop table. Can you see the line? It's quite bad light in here. There's a line that runs just below here. That's the end of life. So these ones will be destroyed now, discarded. Whereas these ones, you can see the line better on here. That's the line I was telling you to look for. That line there. It's non-existent on this one. It's just literally below it. That chip's gone past it. So these ones won't go off for sharpening. They'll just get binned. And these are new blades, so should cut lovely. So putting the new blades on, obviously the bolts go this side, so recess the outside. Make sure you get your spanner, screwdriver sorry, and scrape off anything that might be on there. It won't let it sit flush, which is fine anyway. So new blade's going to go on there, rest that on there a second. Then these bolts are okay, so I'm going to use these bolts again. It wasn't that long ago since I changed them, so there's still copper grease on there, but always put copper grease on your blades, on your screws, sorry, otherwise you'll have a hard time getting these bolts back off. Set your torque wrench to 60, you see that? Set your torque wrench to 60 Nm, lock it off. This torque wrench, you have to change it over for righty tighty. You're going to find, I'm going to do it, look, I've chunked the wheel, but it's chunked the opposite way around, so it might not. See the flywheel move? It's a problem. So what you want to do is with your piece of wood, chunk it from the other side now. Them new blades will be fucking sharp, so watch your hands. So I'm just gonna literally chunk that with a piece of wood that I've got laying around. A 60 Nm, so that should cut off at 60. Yeah, torque wrench, hear the click, that's enough, that's tight enough. Next one. Tight enough. It's tight enough, that's 60 Nm, that's what's in the user manual. Personally, I just got a little tiny bit more, 62. That's that one done. Now we want to spin the blade round, the wheel round, sorry. Find the other blade. You'll find that blade sat back further. The other one was here, this one's further. That's why you have to lift the roller box cover up, or the roller box up. So once again, clean all this out. WD-40, clean all these bolts out here. Get them out, cut, and then I'll see you in a minute once I've done that. So we've scraped out as much as we can off the bolts, and then put WD-40 in it and scrape the rest of it out. It loosens up all the sap, and then you can just play with it with the sharp end of the file, your chainsaw files, get all the gunk out, and then wipe it out. And then with a piece of wood, push it down until it fits in flat, and then that's going to chock that when I try and loosen these up. Hold the end so it doesn't want to round out sideways, you just round the bolts or round your torque head. So hold it nice and flat. That's that one loose. That's the middle one loose. And the third one I may need an extension because it's right up close. No, we're alright, we've loosened it. And then loosen them until you can get your fingers on them. bearings on the end of the bolts now. So one, I pretend to lay them out so they go back in the same hole. I don't think it matters personally, but it's just the way I am. Everything goes back in the same hole. Remove that blade. The tuning screwdriver. Make sure you get all the sap off. See that was wedged in there, a bit of wood. Oh, I'm going to lose it. Can't show you. That was wedged in between the blade and the wheel, so get it all out, make it nice and flush. So the new blade's going on, so just sit that on there. It should sit nice and flush. And then copper grease up your bolts again. Put them all back in. The fiddly one because it's right up close to the bodywork, especially now your hands are greasy. I'm just going to nip them. I'm just going to nip them in. Set a finger tight. Once they're finger tight, we need to chug the flywheel the other way now. So sit that in there like that. Sit a wedge here and here. And about torque setting 60, I'll go about 62. It's important because you'll never get them off otherwise, especially if you leave them too long before you change them. There you go, that's that one. I'm going to need an extension bar probably before I can do this one. There you go, and possibly this one without an extension bar maybe. There you go. So, take that out. That's your blades changed. So now your blades are changed, just inspect your flywheel as best you can. Have a little feel around the back. Make sure your fins are all alright. Check for movement in your flywheel. Rock it back and forwards. That way, back and forwards. There's no movement, so I know my bearings are alright. It's time to put this cover back on. So get that back on there. You want your bolts for that. So washer first. And your bolt. Washer, bolt. It's a 19mm. whenever I do bolts on anything, it's not that important on it. I just do a little bit tight and then go back to the other ones. It's flush. And so you got finger tight, wrist tight, elbow tight, shoulder tight. It's like elbow tight. Yep. OCD makes me check it a few times. That's that. So while you've got all this open, it's a bit dark at this workshop, but there's a grease nipple just here below this grease nipple. Can you see it? That grease nipple there. While this is all open, grease that, and then we're gonna put some grease on here, and then at the back of the feed rollers here, and then just rub it all in. Both sides, down both sides here as well. You can paintbrush the grease on, but don't forget this nipple here. I'll do that because it's too messy to hold the phone. So I'm just going to squirt some grease on the insides of this roller box, and because it's lifted, the outsides as well, and then just rub it in with a glove on my hands. Bit of a mucky job. You can paintbrush it on, like I said. Make sure this grease box is fucking held up properly. You do not want that coming down on your fucking head. I need to buy a tub of grease because this is a fucking nightmare. So I just squirted some on my hands. And we're going to go in there and just rub it on the inside. Lube that up, and then there's a bit down on the outside. Which we can literally just put in your hand if you have to. Buy a tub of grease is much easier. And just rub it out. You'll see me do it around the other side. So just put the grease on my hand. And we're just going to rub it onto here. You see that? It's a bit dark. Rub it all over there. Should take the gloves on, but there you go. So it's all greased up. Roller box is greased, blades are changed, nipples greased the other side. So what we're going to go do now is just lift the feed roller box up, and then take the piece of wood out, drop that back down, WD-40 the springs, and then put the springs back together. I'll show you. So jump up on the chassis, and then I'm just going to grab these two hooks here that the springs go on. I'm going to lift it, and I'm going to get Michael to go behind me and just take this piece of wood away. You ready? Yep. And then slowly just let that down. Lovely. That's the roller box back down. And then the springs, just grab hold of the spring. This one's come off the other side, so let's get that back on there first. Yeah. Just lift them up. 150 is really easy to put the springs on and off. If it's a 190, they're a little bit more trickier, so what I normally tend to do is get a chainsaw strop off, and the hook will be a lot bigger. So you can hook it and lift it with a chainsaw strop, put it back on the same way. Now that's on there. Just put a little bit of WD-40 on that. And Same on the other side. That's all done. Then don't forget, once all that's done, just bring your roller box back. Roller box cover back down. And then that is your 17mm screw. Bolt, sorry. See that flush. It's plastic, so don't over tighten it, just kind of wrist tight, a little bit of leverage. Don't want it coming out dummy, don't want it cracking the plastic either at the same time. That's alright, so that's that job done. All done. Have I forgotten anything? No. I think that's it. So there's a Tommy bar was in my way, put the Tommy bar back on. That's a blade change on a TW150 for you. Follow me for more chainsaw sharpening coming up.